Hi, this video is about solving quadratic equations by factorisation and the sort of different types that you might have to face. So we've got solved the following quadratic equations. A 2x squared is equal to 8x. You need to have an appreciation that the general form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. That's a quadratic equation equal to 0. So in the first one we've got 2x squared is equal to 8x. So normally we would have to put it equal to 0. So if we take 8x from both sides, the equation will become 2x squared minus 8x is equal to 0. And then if I write ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 across the top, the c is obviously equal to 0. So how do we factorise this? This one is actually much easier than the normal type, like in part C and D. If we separate 2x squared into 2 times x and minus 8x as minus 2 times 2 times 2 times x, and then underline the things which are common. So there's a 2 common and there's an x common, so we'll take that out. So we've got 2x. What's left? We've got x minus 2 times 2, which is 4, is equal to 0. Now if you've got two things multiplied by each other and the answer is 0, that means either this one's equal to 0, or this one's equal to 0, or they are both equal to 0. So what you say now is either 2x is equal to 0. If you divide by 2, that's just going to give you x is equal to 0, because 0 divided by 2 is still 0. Or x minus 4 is equal to 0, which is going to give you, if you add 4 to both sides, x is equal to 4. So therefore there are two possible solutions, either x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 4. And if you think back to the graph problems that you've done, you would have seen in the two examples that the graph cut in two places. The next case is we've got 3x squared is equal to 12. So again, taking 12, we're going to get 3x squared minus 12 is equal to 0. If we write out the general format, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then the bx here there's no bx here. So if we look at this here, we've got 3 times x, and the minus 12, we've got minus 2 times 3 times 3. Underlining common things, there's just a 3 which is common, so we'll take that out, and we're going to be left with x squared minus 2 squared is equal to 0. Now from your factorisation, you now might recognise this as type, in the brackets, a squared minus b squared, and we know that a squared minus b squared factorises into a plus b times a minus b. So we're going to have 3 of a, which is x plus 2, times x minus 2 is equal to 0. And then we say either x plus 2 is equal to 0, taking away 2, we're going to get that x is equal to minus 2, or x minus 2 is equal to 0, and adding 2, we're going to have that x is equal to 2. So we get two solutions here, x is equal to minus 2, or x is equal to 2. Right, now to the more harder type. So here we've got x squared plus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. Now some people could just put these into two brackets when there's just one in front straight away and come up with the answer. If not, you need to think about this little algorithm in order to do it. So this is in the right format. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So the product, if you remember, is what's in front of the x squared, which is 1, times c, which is minus 10. So 1 times minus 10 gives you minus 10. The sum is the middle number, which is plus 3. You have to take into account of the sign. And then you ask yourself this question to find the factors. We require two numbers whose product is minus 10 and the sum is 3. So stop the video here and have a think what two numbers you could multiply together to get minus 10, and add the same two numbers, you get 3. With a little bit of thought, you might have come up with 5 and minus 2. You should just do a little check. The product is 5 times minus 2, which is minus 10. And so that's correct, and okay, and then the sum of 5 plus minus 2 is 3, and that's also correct. So now we can proceed with our equations. We write down x squared, and we split the middle term up into 5x or minus 2x. 5x minus 2x. Minus 10 is equal to 0. Now we haven't changed the meaning of the equation because 5x minus 2x does give me 3x. These two things can be any way around, it doesn't matter as long as you make sure the sign's with the right number. Then you group the first two together and you look for the highest common factor, which is x. And in the brackets you get x plus 5. You've got a minus sign. And then you group these second two together, there's a common factor of 2, and then in the brackets you're going to get x plus 5. It's plus 5 because when you do minus times a plus, you'll get back to minus 10. Now, you will see in the brackets we have the same thing. So this is now acts as another common factor. So you get x plus 5, bracket x minus 2 is equal to 0. If you're not sure that this works, then expand this and check that you get back to the original thing. Then we've got two product which is equal to 0, so we can say either x plus 5 is equal to 0, which then taking away 5 is going to give x is equal to minus 5, or x minus 2 is equal to 0, adding 2 to both sides are going to get x is equal to 2. So the two solutions are x is equal to minus 5 or x is equal to 2. Now some people can jump straight away from here to here straight away, and that's fine. Right, for type 8x squared minus 10x minus 3 is equal to 0, it might be better to use the product sum factor method. So we've got ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, so that's okay. So we'll do the product, which is going to be 8 times minus 3, which gives minus 24, and the sum will be minus 10. And again, we want two numbers whose product is minus 24 and the sum is minus 10. Again, you might want to stop the video here and try and think for yourself what these two numbers have got to be. You might come up with minus 12 and 2. Let's just check that. The product, minus 12 times 2 gives minus 24, so that's okay because that's what we wanted. And the sum is minus 12 plus 2, minus 12 plus 2, and that gives minus 10, and again that's what we wanted. So take our quadratic equation, which is 8x squared, and now split up into minus 12x squared, minus 12x plus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. And again, these two things, as long as you take the sign with them, can be written round the other way. Group the first two together and look for the highest common factor, which is going to be 4x. What's left? You're going to have 2x minus 3. Just check. 8x squared minus 12x. That's okay. Bring down the plus sign. Group the other two together. Now there is no common factor here, so we'll just put them into brackets. 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, and introduce a 1 in front. There's no common factor there. Right, you now look at this one and this one. You see it's now a common factor, so it can now come out 2x minus 3, and you'll be left with 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. So we've now got a product of two things which is equal to 0. So we say either 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, so adding 3 we're going to get that 2x is equal to 3, dividing by 2 we're going to get that x is equal to 3 over 2, or 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. Taking 1 from both sides we get 4x is equal to minus 1, dividing by 4 we're going to get that x is equal to minus a quarter. So we have two solutions, x is equal to minus a quarter or x is equal to 3 over 2. So this has been a video to show you how to solve different types of quadratics by the method of factorisation. 4 examples here. I hope you have understood, and what you need to do now is perhaps practice plenty so that you can just do this, these techniques quite easily. It's very, very fundamental to be able to solve quadratics in any further high A-level maths that you might want to do. Thank you very much for watching.